Now, was it because they knew it wasn't real, that Prigozhin, that there's intrigue here because Prigozhin was made by Putin, the Wagner Group was made by Putin, these are his thugs, so that's interesting, but he was never going to rule, he was never going to have a cabal to help him get into power, so they didn't have to take it seriously.
I don't buy that. I mean, the fact that you saw a number of Russian aircraft shot down by Wagner as they were shooting at the column that was within a couple hundred miles of Moscow. 15 Russian airmen dead today as a consequence of Wagner taking them on with air defense missiles, right? That's extraordinary. So it's true that I think it was very unlikely that Prigozhin was ever going to be able to take Putin out. But if he decided to press and fight against Putin in Moscow, that could have been the end of Russia's defensive lines in Ukraine. I mean, that two-front war was something that was really a problem for Putin. So if you play that out long term, this could have been the beginning of the end. Maybe it still will be. So this is a very serious situation. And the fact that Putin couldn't count on those international leaders, everyone's going to buy his oil. Everyone's going to buy his fertilizer. Everyone will take his uranium. But actually taking a domestic risk when he's in trouble, he saw that he had nobody. Nobody on the global stage except for Belarus, which has no choice.
We also saw that he wants to survive.
Yes, we
which
did.
is good to know, because sometimes that can make somebody desperate, but can also make them reasonable if they want to exist within a certain system. So the unmitigated win is for Ukraine, because a lot of the guys that were beating them up the most have just left. Will they return? We don't know. And sure enough, you and I were just reading a dispatch. Zelensky is saying, we are moving in all different directions. We are advancing, in every way that we possibly can. What does this mean? Do you think this is the window of opportunity for Ukraine to close the door on this?
I wouldn't say it's the window of opportunity, but it certainly is a boost for the Ukrainians. I mean, their counteroffensive had not been going well. They lost a fair number of troops. They lost a lot of equipment. But to be fair, of the 11 divisions pre-positioned and available for the counteroffensive, equipped and trained up by the U.S., the U.K., and others, so far they had only used about 2.5 in that battle. So there's a lot more that they are prepared to throw at the Russian 3 lines of defense. And they're now much more likely to. And early information in the last 12 hours that they have actually had some territorial gains around Kherson. They might have actually breached across the Dnieper River in one place where a bridge had been blown up. We'll see over the next few days. But I think that looking forward over the next 3 months, it's now more likely that the Ukrainian counteroffensive will have more significant territorial gains. And if that's true, the Ukrainians will be in a better position to press a negotiation that will work for them and for NATO.
So the United States wants to help, but at the same time, they're sending a message that they haven't sent in a while, which was, be careful how far you go into Russia. Originally, it was, don't go into Russia. Now it had changed to the supply lines are there, so you have to get behind them. And now, once again, what we're hearing is, be careful how far into Russia you go. What is that calculation?
The calculation is that through a year and a half of fighting, at the beginning, when the war first started, the American position is you're going to use economic sanctions against Russia, you're going to crush them economically, and you're not going to provide particularly a lot of military support because the Ukrainians are going to lose. Right? Remember the first couple of weeks, like, oh my God, Kiev's gone. Zelensky's out. We'll give him a ride, right? As the war continues and as the Ukrainians are able to fight courageously and defend their land and fend off the Russians, the Americans, NATO, prepared to provide more. They also see the economic sanctions aren't actually hurting the Russian economy all that much. Only a couple points of contraction of the GDP in the first year. This year, they might even increase a little bit. They give them more weapons. As they give them more weapons, and the Russians say, remember, the Russians said, if you bring Finland and Sweden into NATO, that is unacceptable. We'll take actions. Finland's already in. What have they done? Absolutely nothing. They don't want to open up a second front. Right. They provide more significant weapons. What have the Russians done? Not all that much. Now we see Prigozhin make his way through Rostov, through Voronezh, almost to Moscow. What does Putin do? He lets them go to Belarus. If you're the Americans or a NATO ally at this point, you feel more comfortable providing F-16s. You feel more comfortable providing long-range ATACMS that, yes, the Ukrainians might even be able to use to launch into Belgorod or other places to try to disrupt Russia's command and control, Russia's supply chain. Are you taking a risk by doing that? Well, of course you are. I mean, Russia's a country that has 6,000 nuclear warheads, cyber capabilities, but you feel like you're taking less of a risk than you would have felt 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 12 months ago. That is the reality.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.